Hello and welcome. It is Monday. Man, it's already 12 o'clock. I've had a busy morning. It's 4th of July, doing a lot of family stuff. But we're going to try and get this e-commerce financial model upgraded this week with with financial statements, a cap table, and just see if we can get that done. And then next week we're going to do a vending machine. And then after that, I'm doing brand new templates. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I'm gonna think of some new businesses to do. I'll take requests as well, and who knows what the next one will be. But I'm excited. It's been 6 months of this. The last brand new template or uh, startup model I did was for franchisor licensing back in December of 2021. So yeah, I'll be getting into more of those here in the coming weeks. But today we're gonna get this thing upgraded. We'll get the tabs in. I'm gonna have to add inventory logic to this, so we'll have to be mindful. Um, let's get the link up to Twitter. E-commerce part one. E-commerce part one. Get that. And don't forget, guys, I've got over 100 different financial models, templates, and tools here on smarthelping.com. You can check them out. Uh, see the tabs at the top. If you want to buy everything I've ever built, you can at $9.99. Comes with all the templates. Or you can buy by category or individually based on what you need. I've got a lot of stuff for the recurring revenue, SaaS, business structure, real estate underwriting tools, all these startup models here, which most of them are now upgraded with three statement modeling. I've only got a couple left. Joint venture distribution waterfalls, and then just tools for accountants, tools for human resource managers, personal finance tools, general tools in Google Sheets, sales pipeline management, customer management, tracking tools, and valuation. Alrighty. The template I'm upgrading today, the e-commerce, is part of the industry-specific bundle. It's right here. And this is what we're going to upgrade. So let's jump in here. The model currently is pretty nice. It's got three revenue streams. Basically, you can pick uh, the expected whatever the expected selling price is pre-sales tax, and you can put that for up to 10 different categories of items, or you might just sell 10 different things or only a couple things, what have you. You can configure that here. And then what you can define is how you're going to make sales. So there's ad spend channels. This says your ad spend, and then your average cost of sales for that. So this would be like if you spent $10,000 and your cost per sale on that is $25. There's a division problem going on there. 10,000 divided by 25, and that gives you um, your total units sold, and you just multiply that unit sold by the selling price. You can also define different start months for each of the 10 product categories. Ad spend, cost per sale. So this is the first revenue stream source. Second one is partner activity. So you can define if you have partners over time, how those partners grow over time, or the growth of partners. So if you have two, and then the next month you might have 3% more in that, etc. You can define those growth rates here. And then you can define the average sales that each partner cohort gets over time for each category, and then that will give you a total units sold multiplied by your sales price over here. And then finally, you've got organic sales activity. You can just define the raw count of sales and the growth of those sales over time. So these could be this could be digital marketplace where you're selling things like obviously at smarthelping.com. I'm an e-commerce site. I sell financial models, so I don't have inventory. So that you might not have inventory, but you might be selling products that you have to store or make, and you might have to purchase those things for like a couple months at a time based on what you think you're going to sell. So this tool is going to account for that. Now, if you are just in time or essentially you don't really hold that much inventory, um, whatever you sell in the month, you essentially have on hand, and then you just buy more, create more each month, and sell it each month. Then you can account for that by selecting a one in the logical thing that I'm going to make, or if you want to buy it for 3 months at a time, you can do that, and it'll affect the balance sheet, cash flow, and inventory balance. So we are going to have that, which is a new addition here, and we'll just target the total cost of goods sold to figure out the inventory that we need, uh, or how much it's going to cost um, to 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 purchase that. Now, the cost of goods sold is defined here on the expense assumptions um, here. So cost of product sold if applicable. So this is again, if you're drop shipping, it could be drop shipping, meaning whatever you're selling, you have to buy from a drop shipper and ship it over. So that's your cost of goods sold. Or this could be if you're manufacturing the item, this is your total cost of goods sold of materials, or if you're making it in some way, or or if you're buying it from some other place, keeping it in inventory for a while, and then reselling it. This cost will be the driver of the value of inventory over time. And again, if it's just in time or this you sell what you have in 1 month, you just hit a one in it, it won't really affect the cash flow. There's also commission rates here for like affiliate partners, and that's going to reflect the direct sales schedule here for the partners that you have and how much you're paying them. And the rest of this is just fixed cost stuff. So the model's really good right now, but I just want to add the formal financial statements and the cap table structures around it. I'm not going to the current logic that exists for how kind of everything works is sound, and it's going to stay like it is because it's good. Okay, so to do a three-statement model, we need to pick one that already has um, inventory logic in it, so I don't have to rebuild all of that. So let's see. Probably let's see. This is a 5-year model. Yeah, 5 years. I always want to change this, so this is going to be round up. E3, 12 divided by E3. Oh, E3 divided by 12. This is just a quick formula change I've been making so that the year count doesn't directly tie to the date in case you want to make the date start a month later for whatever reason. Okay, perfect. Let's call this V2. Now, the manufacturing model is a 10-year model, I believe, so I don't want to, well, let's double check, because otherwise it probably is going to work pretty good. We don't need a whole lot of CapEx logic here. Yeah, this is going to be too long. Yeah, we're not going to use that. Let's see. Do I have other? I know I have. I know I have one. ATM is a bit longer. We don't need. See, usually the models that have inventory also have quite a bit of fixed assets, and I don't want to have this have that because we don't need to account for that, or a bunch of extra slots for it. Jewelry shop might be the one. Let's look at this. I know when we upgraded this, there was definitely an inventory logic. So this is the inventory logic we'll take to buy over time based on cost of goods sold. It's a 5-year model, and CapEx is not anything out of the ordinary. Perfect. So I think this one is perfect. Cost of goods sold. Now see, this model, eCommerce, is going to have cost of goods sold. It's also going to have in the marketing category cost of sales. So yeah, partner commission paid out. Good. So I'm glad I put that in here in ad spend. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, this is probably the one. We'll use the jewelry shop as a base template because we just need something that has inventory logic in it and nothing else crazy. Perfect. Yep, we're going to use all this. All right, so this will work. Let's go ahead. So to do the integration, let's change this to global control. Uh, and the tab names have to have spaces in them if they're an import tab. Otherwise, I can't do the find and replace properly, and then I have to manually do all the formulas, which will take way longer. So we want to change anything that's referenced so that we can do the find and replace and save hours and hours of time. Monthly detail, annual detail, distributions 1, that's good. So these will no longer exist. I'm just going to rename this startup costs. CapEx is going to be a whole different tab, so we can just clear this out for now. We'll have CapEx. Um, cap table, debt schedule, because I've got all different formulas going to reference the positions of these tabs. So luckily I used the same formatting for the debt schedules on all these when I initially built them. Okay, cap table, startup cost. What else do we got here? Oh, terminal value. Oops, keep clicking on the wrong thing. Global control. These are going to stay the same. Cap tables. Inventory, obviously. Inventory 1. And then the whole point of this is the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. So let's add those 6 tabs. Income statement monthly, income statement annual, balance sheet monthly, balance sheet annual. Man, I can't wait to be done with this, but really it was a gigantic effort to upgrade all these financial models I had. But I feel better about them in general now that oh, cash flow statement. I feel better about them now, and I think the quality is just higher. They're just better to have that, and it doesn't take away from anything that they previously did either. Okay, so that's probably good. I like all the input stuff up front, financial statement, and then the summaries and visuals back here. Alrighty, I think I'm ready to import. What's nice about this is it's a newer template, so I don't have to do much formatting updates. It's got the yellow and blue text convention. Uh, I'll just have to update the grid lines to make them softer, but it's got an executive summary tab already, distributions. Just looking here. Did I change anything? I'm just trying to see. Oh, yeah, startup costs and CapEx. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense why that's an error right now. All right, let's import everything and then we'll see what broke, fix it, and then that'll be our day 1 integration. Tomorrow I will very likely finish it. This will be a pretty clean upgrade. I don't see. Now, last week's, the flat fee lender, man, that was not easy. That was a really tough one. It ended up being good, though. We finished everything, but man, it was hard to get those formulas working right. on the lender. It's just so difficult to do the financial statements on that one. Uh, yeah, this will not be that as hard as that one was. Okay, terminal value. Cap table. And really, I feel like this is beyond a financial model. It's really like an entire financial simulation. If you ask me to classify or categorize it more specifically, what this is. Oh, you know what? Let's just. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. Startup costs, terminal value, capex. Oh wait, this was capex. What did I put this into? Startup costs. Whoops. Here's that. Startup costs. Here, we want to maintain the same position of everything. Alrighty. Now we can do the income statement. It's really cool to see how these kind of come together. I know this live modeling is a lot different than what I will be doing when I'm actually like building out the logic you see in the assumptions and doing the monthly detail and all the other stuff. Um, this is more of just different, but you'll get all of it coming up here in a couple weeks because I'll have to still do this at the end of each model, but I'll be doing all the other stuff first, which is nice. You get to see my thought process and how I think, um, to best do revenue forecasting, how to structure all that. Okay, balance sheet. Cash flow. Inventory. And then we already have these tabs. This is all good. Okay. So now the fun part. Let's try and do a find and replace. See if we got everything imported right. So we want to replace everything that references the other workbook with blank. And you can see why you have to have a space because in Excel it puts two little apostrophes on the left and right of a tab reference. And so if you import from a workbook, it automatically has those. But when you change it, when you replace that with nothing like I'm about to do, if the tab reference name does not have a space in it, it'll put those apostrophes and then it'll give an error and it will actually break the whole import and it won't work. So we figured this out pretty early on in the integration process because it was very very time saving to do that. All right, replace all. Oh, on the whole workbook. Perfect, it worked. That was very clean and smooth. Okay, so if I look at the model, we'll do some formatting here. See what broke on the monthly detail. I'll probably have to do a couple more find and replace things on there. And then tomorrow we'll get into the nitty gritty of all the formula referencing to the financial statements and sanity checks and just making sure it's working as it should. Okay. Now, debt schedule, we are bringing over a formula here that will automatically repay if the terminal value is to be included in the exit month. Then we want to automatically repay the debt. So we got to put that in there. We got to put this formula in. Update this reference. Let's see, this has got a financing, if any, would be here now. We'll have to update the drop downs. Okay. This looks good. Give these all light border. Now, okay, perfect. So that's working. You can see it's being repaid in month 60 because terminal value is selected as yes, and that is the end month. Let's give this a drop down as well. So everything that has been imported that had a drop down, the drop down gets removed on that import. So I have to redo the validations for all those, which is fine. CapEx is going to be updated. So you can dynamically select if these purchases happen in any given month. That schedule is already good. That's good. All right. Actually, let's just start this in 2021. Just to match the current assumptions. That's arbitrary. All these numbers are arbitrary when you actually go fill this out yourself with your own numbers. You'll clear out everything that's in blue text and just enter your own information. Now this actually needs to be Calibri 11. Okay. So, oh, we need to soften these grid lines. That's a bit better to look at. Oh. Remember, you can hold down Control Shift and highlight multiple things that you want to update all at once. In Excel, it's a nice feature. All right, so that's updated. This is formatted fine. That's fine. Let's do the income statements. So freeze, remove grid lines, expand this out, extend the columns to 15 so they're nice and neat. Same with the annual income statement. Freeze. Oh, let's change this name. We'll call it eCom Co. Balance sheet. Balance sheet is like the ultimate sanity checker itself. Everything flows into it. You've got um, net income or cash flow from all the operating activities, financing and investing activities, flowing to the cash flow, and then essentially all your other assets, liabilities, equity, and retained earnings have to basically balance with that. Otherwise, you've got an error somewhere. So it's honestly like a awesome sanity checker itself. That was pretty cool. It's always the puzzler too. If you're an accountant, you know this. Um, man, and it's really fun when you figure out where you had an error and the balance sheet balances now, and things start to make sense. It feels really good, but when it doesn't, it feels really bad. It is scary, especially when if you're working with actual numbers, um, rather than forecasting. You really want to know why something doesn't match up. But for this, you still want to with a forecast, or else obviously there's an error with something if it doesn't. So it's fun when you figure those errors out. Last week, we had a time with the flat fee lender in regards to that, but it was figured out, so that's good. Always love that feeling of solving the puzzle. Alrighty, so we are all set here on the formatting. Got all our tabs in. We need to, so let's see. We don't need this anymore. Don't save. Let's see, the inventory. Yeah, so we're referencing directly cost of goods sold here, which is going to go to the monthly detail. Let's go to the monthly detail, figure this out. So yeah, so global control C5, anything that references this needs to be changed to C6, I believe. Yeah, C6. So we'll go ahead and go find replace this reference. Oh, dang it. Copy, paste, and then we want to change 5 to 6. Only on this sheet, not the whole workbook. And replace all of that. Oh, it's still in this formula. So let me just undo. Let's undo all of it. Okay, so that's how it was. All right, now let's replace all. There we go. So that was just to make sure the model will stop whenever you select it, whatever the end month is that's selected. So we just fixed that. See if anything else was referenced to C5 that was in a different format. Does not look like it. C6, nice. All right, looks like we got everything. Very clean. Now, I did have somebody actually buy this e-commerce model yesterday. So I'm going to have to find them and send them the updated version when it's updated. Or if you're watching, note, I will find you, or you can email me and I will send you that. Here we go. So C5, here's one reference where I had not the number locked. So we need to change that as well. Okay, that's why I check everything. Okay, this looks good. Alrighty. Also note, I did add a request form on smarthelping.com. So you can go there and enter your email, your request, and submit. And it could be about anything. Questions on a model, something you want to see me build. If you have a work request, I can do a quote, um, or whatever else you want to say. So now it's easier to do that than having to manually email me. You can just fill out a form. I usually respond pretty immediately. Probably should rarely take less than 1 hour. All right, let's put this back. Debt balance we're not going to need here anymore. We won't need this. Debt repayment is now actually in the principal row. $60 December. No, why? Wait, we're starting in 2021. So, this is now the end month is 2025. So if I go over to my monthly detail, yep, there's the amount. Okay, good. We're not gonna need this. Clear this out. We do need exit proceeds, debt proceeds. We'll have some more cap stuff in here like capex, startup costs, taxes. This is removed, deprecated. Uh, this, well, actually, this can stay. This is fine. 3 to 18, so we got to change the reference. Yeah, that's fine. Other metrics, gross profit from ad spend. So these are some other key metrics. Average revenue per partner. Let's go on here. All right, so we are removing this. We're removing that. And all of this. Um, Now this terminal value obviously is, yeah, let's just actually just take this out for now because it'll be a completely different calculation. Remove that. Okay, so yeah, we're keeping this, and this is fine. Okay, so pretty good. We're getting pretty much set up for tomorrow to be very smooth. We'll start tomorrow on the income statement and start formatting all this stuff and uh, getting everything linked up correctly, and we'll be good to go here on this one. And then next week, like I said, we'll move on to the vending machine. And I'm so pumped to start doing new models. You have no idea. But I took the last 6 months. It's going to take probably a total of 6.5 months to have updated all the startup models. There's still some like here some lower lower volume startup models that I will be upgrading throughout time, but I'm not going to be doing them every week after I do these last two. I'm going to do them like every 2 or 3 weeks until they're all done. But there's not very many left, and they're the lesser popular ones. Um, okay, so that's all I got for you. Again, check out smarthelping.com for more financial models, tools, templates, calculators. If your business uses Sheets or Google Sheets or Excel, you'll have value here. Also, if you don't use Google Sheets or Excel, you might want to consider it if you're a smaller business that has trouble tracking things. Again, you can buy everything I've ever built for $9.99 or by category. Couple updates to the site. I did add a request form. I've got I added so I've got bundles up top here, and then I've got more bundles that exist. So I'm putting those on the sidebar so you can see those as well easily without having to search around too far. Alrighty, take it easy. See you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I will be streaming at 10 a.m. the regular time. It's just today was 4th of July, so my schedule's